Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Choice Evidence, 1983. It dawned on me that he was a wizard. My ex-girlfriend opened up 2 credit cards in my name after we broke up. She ran up about $7,500 in debt, mainly shopping at Nordstrom and Macy's. Her current boyfriend is now threatening me. The original OP is Easy Now Steven. Originally posted to r/credit score. Originally posted August 13th, 2024. My ex and I broke up a little more than a year ago. We lived together for a couple of years and I know she would have had access to my financial information. When we broke up, I moved out of the house we were renting and I thought I had everything of mine. Back in February, when I was doing my taxes, I realized I could not find my folder with my previous year's tax returns anywhere. I assumed it got lost in the move and I didn't think anything else of it. Last Friday, I got served for a lawsuit to the tune of over $5,000 for a defaulted credit card. When I went and actually pulled my credit, I saw that my card had been defaulted since May, and there was another one which had been closed since June for about $2,500. Seeing as I had no knowledge about this, I immediately disputed both of the accounts on all 3 bureaus' websites. I was able to talk with someone for one of the cards and they said it was opened in January, well after I had moved out of the old house and the cards were sent there. I received the statements from the one card and it was probably 80% Nordstrom/Macy's, 2 of the stores my ex loved shopping at. Pretty sure she was the one who opened the accounts, probably used my social security number from the old tax returns. I called my ex about it and she denied everything, even when I told her that eventually, if she had anything shipped to the house using a stolen credit card, she's going to get found out. She flipped and started screaming at me, saying I can't seriously accuse her of anything and to never talk to her again. About 20 minutes later, I got a call from a blocked number. It was her boyfriend, threatening to make my life a living hell unless I stopped harassing her, by claiming she stole my identity. He hung up, but I was shaken up about it. I can see he's got some serious felonies just by looking at the public records on the county website. I'm kinda stuck here. I'm opening myself up to retaliation if I go forward with anything from someone who has charges of aggravated arson and aggravated discharge of a firearm in addition to a few battery charges. I can't just not do anything though. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Relevant comments. Commenter, copying this for every identity theft situation I see on here since it seems to happen a lot, where you know who the person is who stole your identity. This is all information you can find in this sub and others. 1. Call the police. You're the victim of identity theft, plain and simple. It doesn't matter who did it or what your relationship is to them. They broke the law, now they have to face the consequences of their actions. 2. Freeze your credit. You want to make sure it doesn't happen again. Take the proactive route of freezing your credit. 3. Monitor and track your credit. You need to be alerted if anyone tries opening a line of credit in your name. This gives you a way to do it for free and it shows you your credit score. 4. Warn anyone else who might be a victim. This includes family members or anyone else whose social security number might be compromised by theft. 5. Take the police report to the credit bureaus. Give them the report number when you dispute all of the accounts. Most of the time, that will be enough for them to take the accounts off of your credit. It's on the creditors themselves to prove the accounts are legitimately yours and the bureaus aren't going to get in the middle of it. A police report goes a long way in clearing up your credit. Don't take identity theft lying down, even if it's someone close to you. If you let them get away with it, get ready for 5 to 10 years of bad credit, collection agencies coming after you, lawsuits, etc. For this specific case, you need to go to the police like now. This guy seems like an incredibly violent person. I would get a restraining order as soon as possible. Does he know where you live? I also would not contact your ex at all about anything else. Let it go through the court system. OP. I plan on calling the police. I was just kind of freaked out about the whole situation. How do I get the police report to the credit companies? Commenter 2. File a police report for the fraud, contact the lenders, and provide the police report number and jurisdiction. Let the police/bank sort it out. Provide all that info to the lawyers that filed the suit and bring it all to court. Do not skip a court date. Update September 10th, 2024, 1 month later. Update, I followed the advice in the comments and went to the police. Quick and painless process. I was in and out in about maybe 30 minutes with the report number. I never received another call from my ex or her boyfriend. I gave the report number to the credit card companies and the credit bureaus. I was told I didn't have to do anything else at that point but to show up to the court date for the lawsuit. I learned through a mutual friend today that my ex was arrested this morning. Apparently, the county put out a warrant for her last week, pulled her over on the way to work. It looks like she was charged and released pretty quickly. Also, I learned my ex and the boyfriend who threatened me are no longer together. I don't think I have to worry about him anymore. The court date for the lawsuit is later this month, but everything else has fallen off of my report. My score has gone up by probably 200 points. I'm still going to the court date just to make sure everything is good, but it looks like it's all good news from here on out. Relevant comments. It's awesome news. Your story will also serve as inspiration for others to pursue justice when they've been wronged. Commenter 2. Make sure you put a freeze on your SSN with all 3 credit bureaus if you haven't done so already. It's also time for, the Oz PSA that pops up every time we cover one of these. Don't co-sign on anything unless it's like with your wife or like a significant other who you're married to and you have shared finances, or like a parent that you trust. Don't do it with like a random girlfriend that you've only known for like maybe a year, all right? And that's the Eyes PSA. Trust me, don't make the same mistake that I did. It'll come back to bite you. This was gathered by Lucia Aria Rose. Their tagline is, I'm keeping the garlic. The original poster is u/keycase9842, originally posted to r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for saying no to my girlfriend's quote-unquote tradition? Throwaway account. I, male 30, lost my younger brother when I was 22. He had cancer and fought very hard. Ever since, I've been donating blood on the anniversary of his death every year. I take the day off from work, visit his grave, donate blood, and then come home, relax, and watch his favorite movie. I know it's a simple personal tradition, but it means a lot to me. My girlfriend of 9 months, Anna, female 31, asked if I could meet her and her mom. I've met her many times before, and it wasn't the meet the parents for the first time situation, for lunch yesterday. I told her no and explained again about what I do on my brother's death anniversary. She got upset and said, well, it's my tradition to have lunch with my mom every time she's in town, and she really wanted to see you. You can do your stupid blood donation tradition any day. Oh, fuck. I explained to her that it's not just about the blood donation. Later in the evening, while I was resting and watching my brother's favorite movie, she texted me again, asking me to join them. I reiterated that I really didn't want to and would hang out with her mom next time. She replied that I had embarrassed her in front of her mom with my selfishness and laziness. Since then, she's been distant. Do I owe her an apology? Am I the asshole? Buddy, she owes you a fucking apology. Some of OP's comments. Commenter question. Did Anna know about this tradition before her mother came to visit? I'm thinking the answer is yes because you said, explained again, but I wanted to verify this. Yes, I have mentioned it many times before. I think she forgot about the date, so I re-explained that I can't join them that day for that reason. Commenter. Not the asshole. She doesn't respect your tradition, which is a 1 day a year. Her mom will probably come to town more than 1 time in a year. Your girlfriend is selfish and entitled. Yes, she's retired and lives 3 hours away. She comes here often. Commenter. Your tradition outweighs getting dinner with a visiting relative or in-law. I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope you had a good day of remembering him. If I could, what was his favorite movie? There are actually 2. The first is Despicable Me and Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Have you watched the new one? I see all the movies my dad would have loved to see from the franchises he loved. No, not yet. I'm planning to watch it with my dad. My mom died when we were kids and my dad raised us alone. On my brother's birthday. Plan B is having him over for a movie night on my brother's birthday if the movie will no longer be in movie theaters in December. Commenter. I think you would need to think very carefully about this girlfriend. Losing someone you love is very hard and she's very careless with your feelings. Sorry for your loss. I lost my brother when he was 12 and I was 15. I still miss him. My condolences. I miss him a lot. There are certain video games I can't even look at or play anymore because it was our special thing. Commenter. Downvoted. I see plenty of room for doing lunch with your girlfriend and her mom and still commemorating your brother's death in the same day. It would have been easy to fit lunch between visiting a grave, drawing blood, and seeing a movie. You also missed a chance to invite your girlfriend to partake in your ritual, and instead seem to have just used it as an excuse to not go out with them. You're going to lose a lot more people in your life before it's through. I understand death is hard, but it's been nearly a decade. Sometimes, clinging to those ancient memories only hold us back. OP. She had never met him. He passed long before my current relationship. She never showed any interest to join and I wasn't expecting her to join. I mean, if she wanted to, she would be more than welcome to join. I didn't exclude her. My brother is not some ancient memory. We were very close, and we only had each other growing up as my dad was working a lot. His memory isn't holding me back in any way. OP's comments 1 hour after posting. I texted Anna that we need to talk after reading the comments. I'm going to end it. I don't have her mom's number, unfortunately. OP 3 hours later when asked for an update. Sure, so far no reply. OP responds to a downvoted commenter. I'm not apologizing. I sent her a text to meet so I can end it. Expecting to have 1 day out of a year is not too much to ask for. Update, same post, September 22nd, 2024, 2 days later. I texted her that we need to talk. She never replied. Just blocked me from everywhere, social media, WhatsApp, etc. Her best friend who was following me on Instagram blocked me too. I'm not sad, I wanted to end it anyways. Thank you for your support, everyone. I really appreciate your kind comments. Some users suggested that my brother/remembrance tradition saved me from getting serious with her and a lifetime of misery, and it made me smile. Thank you again. I mean, this really does boil down to the fact that she's incapable of respecting her now ex-boyfriend's request to just simply have a day to just remember his brother. And the fact that he simply stated, yeah, it's a tradition of mine to go through this routine to honor his memory. And her response is, well, we have a tradition to visit with my mother when she's in town. It's a pretty shitty turnaround, and that's very purposeful wording. And chances are she's off telling everyone that you're some selfish and lazy individual, but that's not your problem to deal with. If someone is worth keeping around, they will ask you for your side of the story. And you can let them decide from there. Anyone who has no interest in finding out what actually happened, you probably shouldn't have them in your life anyway. 1 day out of the year isn't selfish, and don't let that get into your head either. Direct Caterpillar 77 is the compiler of this post, and their tagline is Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is Russo Doll 86. My 24 male girlfriend, female 25, mother, female 55, took my Transformer toys to give to her grandson. Originally posted November 16th, 2022. My relationship with my girlfriend's mother has recently turned sour after she took my Transformer toys from my flat to give to her grandson. She has refused to give them back, saying that someone in their 20s shouldn't have toys in their flat. The issue is that they are collectibles, in addition to toys. Since the majority of them date back to the 1980s, their combined value is estimated to be roughly 10 to 11K. Haven't gotten them appraised, but that is what I'll put down if I make the report. I informed her of their value, but she brushed it aside, stating, well, they're just toys. I even told her I'd go to the store to pick some toys up for her grandson, but she doesn't want that and refused by saying, they don't make them like they used to. My girlfriend and I have spoken about this, but she doesn't want to become involved and prefers that I handle it on my own. I told her that I have exhausted all options, and that the next logical step is probably to report the items as stolen. Stealing something worth 10K isn't a misdemeanor either. This is felony level theft. Additionally, the mother took them by entering my flat using my girlfriend's key. My girlfriend said she would speak to her mother and ask her not to do anything similar ever again, but that I should let this one go and not escalate the matter because if I report it, we would be done. She said she would only talk and involve herself if I promised not to do anything about it, and I should value our 2.5-year relationship more than some plastic toys. I don't understand why she isn't valuing our relationship and getting my stuff back from her family. I just want my things returned. I genuinely find it hard to believe that she is siding with her mother. We've already been into a few arguments over this over the past several days, and I don't think things will get better. A part of me believes that her mother will likely sell them for a profit or something, and then purchase the cheaper ones for her grandson to give him on his 6th birthday. I don't want to involve the police and ruin my relationship with my girlfriend or her mother. Up until now, her mother has been nothing but nice to me. Is there a more effective approach to take? Advice? Relevant comments. OP when told to go over and get them back. Get them how? I don't know where they are. Most probably in their house, but I don't think she will let me search her house for my stuff. Asking for it hasn't worked. Another user called Airline Hang the fuck on. She can enter your house to steal your shit, but she won't let you go into her house to get your stolen property back? Bro, I can't fucking even. Get the fuck out of here. Tell your girlfriend to take you over there and let you in and look for your shit. Also, said child recipient of your stolen property is a relation to your girlfriend. Tell her to get in touch with that child's family so they can return your stolen property. If your girlfriend won't do either, then she's morally complicit in you being robbed. King Alistair, sure you want to be with a girlfriend who supports her mother in theft instead of just going and taking those toys and bringing them back to you? OP responds with, I see what you're saying, but other than this one thing, the rest has been good. Limitless Megan, here's the thing. Her mother let herself into your home to intentionally steal from you, but she's not going to say anything. She's hit taking the key back, but not demanding the things get returned. She's doing nothing. And she will punish you if you do the one thing you have left to do. Basically, your girlfriend is helping her mom steal from you, and I'm guessing agrees with your mom about your toys. Are you sure your girlfriend wanted them being taken? And why is it okay for her to throw your 2.5-year relationship away so mom can literally steal from you? And why would you want to preserve a relationship with someone who thinks so little of you, your feelings, and your belongings? Update, November 23rd, 2022. I broke up with my girlfriend because she continued to take her mother's side and threatened to break up with me. Police report has also been filed. Wrote down the estimate value to be $13K when the police asked me for it. Fingers crossed now. Relevant comments. Queen's Lily. Don't forget to get your lock changed. OP responds, already asked the building manager to do that. They should get changed by the end of the week. Embarrassed help. Does the theft of the $10K worth of stuff increase the potential charges that the girlfriend's mom could face? Not to mention that they may become damaged while in her possession if she doesn't try to sell them. OP responds, according to the police, yes, that's why they asked me to add $3K to my estimation. They would have to be appraised once retrieved, though, for charges to be pressed. Mundane currency 5088. Everything will be out of the box now, no way a kid understands value. Unless she sold them to collectors, in which case, she will have to pay you for them. OP, she hasn't given them to him yet. She's waiting for his birthday, which is in a few days. I suspect she won't give them to him now after knowing what they're worth, and will try to sell them for profit. Final update, June 23rd, 2024. 2 years later. Hello everyone, I just wanted to give you an update about my Transformers collection that was stolen by my ex's mother. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to recover them, but we settled for $7K. This amount is definitely less than what I believe was fair, but at this point, I'm ready to move on. The past 2 years have been incredibly tough, and I just want to put this behind me. Thank you all for your support. It meant a lot to me when I needed it the most. And God, do I understand that stress, man. So for those of you who are wondering, how can a collection of Transformers be worth that much? An unopened G1 Soundwave can go for almost $3,500 if it's unopened. G1 figures from Transformers can get really expensive really fast. So it's pretty feasible that maybe OP had maybe 4 or 5 of them and had them on shelves, and those would be pretty easy just to simply swipe in one setting in one go. And yeah, it'd be very easy to hit $10,000 worth of value with old G1 figures, for sure. I don't collect Transformers, I still have Transformers from my childhood because, Transformers was the big 3 for me. Bionicle, Transformers, and Warhammer 40K. Those were the franchises I grew up with. And what sucks is I can relate with OP. The legal system is fucking exhausting, and you do hit a point where it's like, God damn it, I just want to be done with this, please. But you also gotta be careful because you don't just want to throw a bunch of shit away and end up worse off than you were. $7K is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It's not everything you ask for, but walking away with at least something is well worth it. This one was compiled by Direct Caterpillar 77. Their tagline is Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is u/Fat Ninja Throwaway 00. Originally posted to r/Am I the Asshole on November 4th, 2021. Am I the asshole for refusing to have Halloween with my family for years after they screwed me over on this holiday years ago? As the title says, this happened on Halloween. I'm 25 male, and 5 years ago, my parents wanted to go to my sister's house for Halloween. At the time, I was still living with them, and I wanted to go to a party a friend was hosting. But my parents were adamant that I go with them instead because they wanted us all to be together. I still wanted to go to my friend's party, and my parents suggested a compromise, in which I go to my sister's party first, then my friend's. I figured, hey, it couldn't hurt to do both, so I agreed, since I liked helping my nephews with trick-or-treating. And that year I was wearing an inflatable ninja costume I was really eager to have fun in. Well, I was ready and waiting in the costume for hours, and by the time that we finally took the kids out, most houses had stopped giving out candy and there was hardly anybody walking around. And we only went around the block. That's it. Then, when I wanted to go to my friend's house, my parents guilted me into staying because they needed me as a designated driver. I would have driven them home first and then had gone to my friend's party, but my parents just kept drinking and refused to leave. So I lost out on going to the other party and cussed my parents out for making me miss it and not even being able to enjoy my Halloween. They just said that it was too late, and what could they do about it? They didn't even attempt to make it up to me. I refused to speak with them later, so they confronted me, and I said I didn't even want to look at them because they broke their promise. Then I said that unless they could somehow pull a new Halloween party with all my friends out of their asses, then they had completely screwed me over. Then I left before they could say anything else to me. My friends were nearly as upset as I was, but my sister told me off and said I was callous because she had wanted me there. Ever since that year, I only spent Halloween with friends. This year, my parents begged me to go with them to my sister's instead. I asked why, and they wanted me to drive them. So I refused and said they just wanted a designated driver. And they'd already screwed me over before and didn't even attempt to make it better back then. And I didn't want to just sit around watching them get drunk, with the only real highlight being helping kids trick-or-treat. I hung out with my friends and we had a blast with a farmyard party. But my sister called me up on Monday, furious at me because our parents were pulled over on their way home and got a DUI, and that this would have never happened if I had driven them. And now most of the family is pissed at me. So am I the asshole for refusing to drive my parents to my sister's house for Halloween because of something they did 5 years ago? So real quick before we get into the comments, I just want to simply state, how come the sister didn't drive the parents home if it was such a concern? How come they didn't get an Uber or Lyft? Why is it the responsibility of the person they tried to drag to be the designated driver who had other plans? Why is it now their fault they weren't there to be the DD when they overdrank knowing they did not have a DD and are now blaming it on someone else? Like, that is some fucking bullshit. Anyways, relevant comments. Please call me Rain. While you are 100% not the asshole for anything your parents did, you are weirdly bitter about a party you missed as a 19-year-old. Dude, you were an adult. You chose to stay. Nothing was stopping you from leaving. You need to recognize that you are responsible for your own choices, something your family doesn't seem to be good at. OP responds with, no, I was stopped from leaving because I couldn't take my parents' vehicle. We rode together and they refused to let me just borrow their car and come back. The bitterness is because they lied to me and then showed no remorse that they did. Elsewhere, this is weird. Have they just done it on these 2 Halloween parties, or do they do this at other times? Why didn't your sister drive them? That's what I'm saying. Or sister's partner if they're in the picture. If she has kids, there surely had to be a sober adult there. Obviously, it's not your fault your parents drove drunk. Not the asshole. OP. They've drove drunk several times. I don't mind driving them some places, but then they wanted me as a designated driver all the time. And then they only wanted me to drive their car, not mine. So I made it clear to them that I wouldn't be their driver if I had plans, which I did. The verdict is not the asshole. OP updated 5 days later, November 9th, 2021. Same post. Update, my sister and her husband spotted my post a few days after I made it and called me. My sister said she's ashamed of herself and now sees my point of view. At first, she was furious I made the post, but her husband chewed her out for not ever sticking up for me because he really had no idea my parents treated me this badly. And after they both read the comments, she realized how toxic this whole dynamic was. At first, she blamed it on the stress of being a mother, but quickly took that back and said she really has no excuse for never considering me in these situations. We talked and she remarked on how I've always loved Halloween ever since I was a little kid, and she let my parents ruin it for me that day 5 years ago, even though she knew about the promise they broke. The conversation got pretty emotional and she apologized heavily because she had put the blame on me when she was the one who let our parents drink and drive year after year. I've got more details now, and my mother is actually the one who got the DUI. I'd assumed our father, but he apparently was so wasted that he was on the verge of passing out, and pretty much did as soon as he was in the car. Our mother insisted that she was okay to drive and then ran a red light. That's how a cop spotted her and she was arrested. The car was impounded and our father was escorted home by police to sleep it off. He woke up with a raging hangover and a temper to match, then took it out all on my sister over the phone, and she in turn took it out on me. Our mother has had her license suspended. The car cost them $600 to get out of impound, and both of my parents were putting this on me. until we all ganged up on them for what they've been doing. Our father fought us every step of the way, but we made it clear they've been putting their alcoholism above everything else, and we're tired of it, because there have been a lot of broken promises from them all around. Our mother promised to do better, but our father just stayed silent and wouldn't make eye contact with any of us. Things are tense now, but I'm glad my sister is finally on my side in all of this. Sounds like you and your sister, despite having your kerfuffles, have a pretty healthy relationship going on and she's on the right path. Your parents, however, I don't know what to do about them, rehab or therapy or something, good God, because this is unhealthy. And to put in perspective, they're going to a Halloween party for their grandchild where they drink to the point where they are incapable of driving and then attempt to drive home. It's not about the grandkids, it's an excuse to drink. And chances are they understand and know this, and that's why they tried dragging their son to go and do the driving for them. Which now they blame him for their mistakes instead of them just getting an Uber or a Lyft or literally just anything to prevent them from drinking or driving. Hell, crash on the damn couch, come on. I think OP's resentment is entirely justified, and I'm glad this sister is finally starting to see things, but she does have some growing to do, but I don't think that's really the main focus here anymore. And the shitty part is that after all of the broken promises, them promising to do better means nothing. I hope OP's parents do better, but honestly, it sounds like holidays would better be spent without them. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.